Ancient cave dwellers drew spacecraft on the poles. It's a recurring theme. I've seen the same thing while walking late at night, and I know it's not a dream.
From Maelstrom to Manhattan, Boston to LA, there are people asking questions and they will not go away. But what has been seen might not be what it seems. The government's shadow is dancing to see.
If you tell the truth, they will ridicule everything you say and do. It's all part of a deception. It's a puppet master's tool. And I've seen those craft shut down the silos from 10 miles away. And there ain't nothing that the Pentagon can do. They can't make them go away.
From Maelstrom to Manhattan, Boston to LA, there are people asking questions.
You can advertise your business on Night Dreams Talk Radio, and you will be heard worldwide. Why not contact us at nightdreamstalkradio@gmail.com. Night Dreams Talk Radio Network brings you the World Paranormal News with James Creechbaum. Now, the latest news.
This is Night Dreams Talk Radio Network News, and I'm James Creechbaum. Well, for all the truckers out there, if you're in the Detroit, Michigan area, overnight snow likely to cause messy Thursday morning commute in the Metro Detroit area. Also from 8 o'clock p.m. tonight through Thursday at 4 a.m., 2 to 4 inches are possible in the Detroit metro area. If you're in the Pacific Northwest, there's going to be a lot of rain on the far west coast and a lot of freezing rain mixed throughout the rest of the state into Oregon into Idaho. Below those states is going to be a little bit of snow. Then you get into the south from all the way from Texas up to Illinois to Michigan, clear over to Maine. It's going to be snow in the upper parts, then freezing rain mix, and then down into Alabama, Mississippi. And Florida is going to be rain and heavy rain, with tornado watch going on right now in Mississippi and Alabama. Well, Ronald Reagan and the possibility of alien invasion. Reagan was the first U.S. president to discuss possibility of an alien invasion from outer space. He mentioned the possibility a few times. He also mentioned to Russian leader during one of his 5-hour private discussions how easy his task and mine might be in these meetings that we held if suddenly there was a threat to this world from some other species from another planet outside of the universe. We'd forget all the little local differences that we have between our countries. Reagan also said, what if all of us in the world discovered that we were threatened by a power from outer space from another planet? So, Soviet foreign minister met to sign the INF treaty, and Reagan wondered out loud what would happen if the world faced an alien threat from outer space. Then he went on to pose the question, and yet, I ask, is not an alien force already among us? Then the president posed the second question, what could be more alien to the universe aspirations of our peoples than war and the threat of war? Well, German scientists prove there is life after death. A team of psychologists and medical doctors have announced this morning that they had proven by clinical experimentation the existence of some form of life after death. This astonishing announcement is based on the conclusions of a study using a new type of medically supervised near-death experiences that allow the patients to be clinically dead for almost 20 minutes before being brought back to life. This controversial process that was repeated on 944 volunteers over the last 4 years. Most common memories include a feeling of detachment from the body, feelings of levitation, total serenity, security, warmth, and the experience of absolute disillusion in the presence of an overwhelming light. While there is a 4,000-year-old rock formation in Saudi Arabia called A1 Nasleya, which appeared to be cut in half with laser-like precision, they aren't exactly sure how this happened. Shoppers, they were swarmed by a flock of birds in Texas. A huge flock of several thousand birds swarmed around disconnected shoppers outside a store in Texas recently. There were so many that the sky was filled with them, and their collective chattering was deafening. One witness who had been in the parking lot at the time captured footage of these species of birds. The crackles had taken over this parking lot for several days prior to me shooting the video, she said. It was truly terrifying with them swarming like flies. They were everywhere, rooftops, cars, on the ground, and in the trees. The sky was abuzz with them all, and they were so loud. Well, here's a story that came in from a trucker. Well, it's a common one, actually. It's about the black dog. This pervasive urban trucking legend was popularized by the movie Patrick Swayze was in of the same name, and almost everyone in trucking has heard about the black dog that appears when a trucker starts to fall asleep. A black dog is supposed to be an omen that means a fatal crash is coming. Some see the black dog as a warning to get off the road, but others say it means you're at the end of the line. Next news break, top of the hour.
You're listening to Night Dreams Talk Radio After Dark with our host, Gary Anderson.
And that is me. Wow, Kirk Douglas passed away today at 103. You know, I remember Kirk Douglas growing up. I'm 68 years old. And, you know, I remember some of his movies, Spartacus especially. You know, that was made in 1960. The guy had a long, long film career and one of the last idols of Hollywood yesteryear. Well, you know what? Let's give our respects to Kirk Douglas and to his families. May he rest in peace. But 103 years, Jim, that's a long, long time. I only think of one person could match that pretty soon, and that'll be, Shatner.
Oh, yeah, Shatner's, I think he's 90 now or close to it. But, yeah, boy, I remember watching old Kirk there, his movies from, when I was a little kid. I still see them. They're on TV everywhere. I watch them all the time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's, I guess also the older we get, we notice things like, people passing on. Washington, D.C., could you believe the leader of the House tore up the speech that Trump was giving? She just right behind him, just tore it in half. Probably because she was insulted that he wouldn't shake her hand.
That has been all over. I've seen that. I don't know who's more childish. I'll tell you. Let's tear up the speech. What? I don't know. Some people do things. They think that they're proving a point, but it kind of, in a ways, makes them look bad, in my opinion. But that goes both ways. I don't know what to think about all that. That's crazy.
I don't know. The whole Washington, D.C., as far as I'm concerned, they act like little children. Oh. We should take them in that special room, with that little rubber boot, the sole, and swat them in the butt and say, hey, act your age. But you know what? The politicians are forgetting why they're there. They're there because we elected them. They're supposed to be serving us. But I tell you, I don't know anymore. It's so much diversion going on out of Washington, D.C. The whole country could be falling apart, and we're just so busy watching Washington, D.C., and this virus, which now the Center of Disease has come out and, has labeled it a major threat. It is scary because, I was doing some more reading after last night. In just a matter of 2-3 weeks, if they don't get it under control, a lot of people are going to perish from it.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Again, it's so many people can be exposed to it and have it at like getting on a plane or an airport or a bus or wherever it may be where there's a lot of people that can join, and then they go about their merry ways and they just keep on passing it and it might be a day or two, and next thing you know, it's like that red rum stuff or that Manchurian candy. It's just like boom, all of a sudden a lot of people have it, and it multiplies like a domino effect that could be just unheard of.
Well, I was kind of watching some of the Walking Dead movies and zombie movies here today while I was booking people. And I kind of like, hey, after I saw that video, it surfaced of that guy. It was sitting, in the chair on a computer. And the next thing, he kind of looks like he's got a headache or he's tired. It hit him so fast. And next thing you know, he's on the ground in convulsions and screaming, and that's when they lose their faculties and all. It comes on. You have it. You feel like you got a cold or the flu, but then the final stages is when you start going into convulsions, and it's really scary.
That video that was on there, that's the thing. It wasn't like one of those things where, I got a headache, I've got a stuffy nose or my stomach, or it was like it hit him like bam, and he just like he started going, he like stiffened up, went into that seizure and fell clear over in the chair and was doing all kind of crazy stuff. And the thing is, imagine if there's 100 people affected and they're out driving and that happens.
Well, not just that, anything. They could be a driver of a semi-truck or a driver of a bus. I mean, who knows? But how about flying a plane? That would be really scary, wouldn't it? A pilot.
Oh,
but
that's the thing. They're all.
It's all over. And the thing is, I've seen, videos, that from China, from BBC, showing that people in the hospitals, in the, hallways on gurneys, 1 minute they're talking to somebody, and the next, like 30 seconds later, they're going through what this guy did. They're going through crazy convulsions, and where their whole body is just going every which way, and they're screaming in pain, and they lose all their faculties that fast. It just like, boom, there it is.
Yeah, it's almost like you mentioned one of them popular zombie movies, and it hits all at once. It must attack the nervous system somewhere along the line, too, but yeah, I don't know what the story is, but I have seen a couple pictures that have snuck around it from those hospitals, and we're talking a huge, looks like a gymnasium full of these people, on cots, and they're all sick.
Yeah, but when they go through the convulsions is the last stage of it. That's where it gets scary. Anyway, can you believe there's been guys that go through a divorce, and they're so upset of their divorce because the wife got awarded the house, so that they go like no sweat. They go get a bulldozer and just plow the house down. Now, there's been people doing stuff like that for years, but this Canadian businessman says he burnt $1 million in cash to avoid paying his ex-wife support. And what it says, a Canadian businessman, a failed mayor candidate, was thrown in jail for 30 days after telling the judge he burnt 1 million Canadian dollars in cash in 2 separate bonfires to avoid paying his wife any support per the divorce settlement. He said, I'd rather be stone broke than give her my life savings.
Well, in my opinion, I got news for that guy. They're not going to buy that story. You're still going to owe her that, and you're probably going to end up in jail is what's probably going to happen.
Well, he did. He got 30 days. I mean, who knows?